What's up, everybody? Welcome to Coffee, Code, and Chat, the Saturday morning, for me at least, show. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I say that every show. And listen, what's up, Mark? Man, if you haven't checked out Mark's channel, just go Mark Tejes on YouTube. He does, like, his channel's so underrated. He does such good coding tutorials. It's really amazing. Glad to see him in the chat. I actually have done some one-on-ones with him. They were very, very helpful, really cool. But today we are going to talk about, yeah, I know. I was thinking about it. Like, I think I'm getting to a point where now it makes sense. I think before I started, I want people to see like what the thing was, coding after 30. But I think I'm getting to a point where my channel is growing, that my face might be like the brand. But yeah, I might. I was considering that. So I hope everybody's doing amazingly awesome today, because we're going to talk about if I want to learn to code again, and I'll chat about like what I've done in the past, and I'm going to chat about like what I recommend people do now. But yes, exactly. It's like, why is this so small? The comments. We got to make the comments bigger so people could see. Like, well, maybe not that big, but you know, like average size. But it's like Saturday morning cartoons for almost adults. Yes, 100%. And so, like, you know, the point today, we're going to talk about if I were to learn to code again, what would I do? What would I learn? And again, I'm going to stick from the web development perspective, because I still feel that's one of the easiest ways to get hired. And hello, Northern Chip. What's up? Mohammed jumping in saying hello. Hey, good to see you. Yes, seeing this here. Greetings from Switzerland, bro. Greetings to you, my friend. Jose's here. But anyway, here's the thing, like Friday night streaming, and actually I felt Mark's pain because he made a comment. Maybe streaming on a Friday night is not a good idea. I know today's Saturday. I'm talking about yesterday's stream. So I stream Friday night anyway, because to me, that's the time that I have for myself, that I'm choosing to practice coding in public, and I'm on a journey of learning Remix. And if you missed the stream, you can always check it out, but I don't care if people show up or not on Friday nights, because normal people should probably be out with their family, hang out, having fun. I hang out with my cats. But besides that, let's not talk about my lonely Friday nights when I spend coding. But the reason why I do code on Friday nights is for me to be able to kind of get better at coding live, better at speaking, and more importantly, kind of just talk about this point of like coding in public, getting this out there, which I will talk about more, but that's not what today's stream about. Today's stream is going to be all about the huge roadmap of what I would learn if I were to do this all over again. I think some things changed, and I actually have this mirror. I'm gonna actually put it in the chat. I think I could share it with people. Let me know. And then Mark Tejes here from Mexico City. Man, I gotta come like visit you there one day. I just need to get some more vacations. But yeah, they'll be like so much fun. But I'm gonna put this link to this mirror that you could check it out. I don't even know what's on there, to be honest with you, because that's how prepared I am for these most amazing live streams. And let me go, actually, before we get too far, share on Twitter that we're doing a thing, because I think it's important to let the world of Twitter know that there's some random dude on the internet giving advice to other random people on the internet. Internet. I like that new word. Internet. Random dude on the internet is giving advice in coding. The one thing that I will tell you, the difference between, I guess, me giving advice, probably no difference, to be honest, except for the little fact that if you go to the very first video on my channel, you will see that I'm some random dude who actually had no idea what coding was, tried to break into the field, tried to make this transition late in his super 30s, and basically over banging my head against the keyboard, long nights, you know, taking one-on-ones with Mark, owning way too many Udemy courses, like 500, making every possible mistake that you can, but still getting my first job and second job and third job, and now like being blessed to be working at my dream company, which is Strappy. That to me, like, that blows my mind. So when I tell you, you know, and give you tips on switching careers, I'm not a YouTuber who's telling you these things. I'm a dude who works as a developer. Now I work as a developer advocate. We could talk more about that, but I am That's my job. That's how I make money. This is just for me to kind of continue getting involved in the community and just kind of having fun. Hi, can you make a video about Remix BlueStack structure? I don't mean what you mean by BlueStack. I actually literally just started learning Remix. And I don't know if you've seen my streams where I'm getting started with Remix, but I do want to get into Remix a more deeper level. But I'm still new to Remix. Normally I work with straight up React, now Next.js, and now my next thing is going to be Remix. I really like it. I like how they handle their data fetching there. Is going to be awesome. Yeah, that's a great question, by the way, for Mark. How's the tech scene in Mexico? That's actually a very thing to wonder. But let me share on Twitter quickly before everybody gets here, and then we'll jump into the meat of the topic. I just have to figure out how to use Twitter again, you know, like so professional. Man, let me know if my music is not too loud or if my mic's working fine. I also know a lot of people really working on their Twitter spaces. Let me know if you ever want me to do a Twitter space. I personally like doing stuff on YouTube, you know, but that'll be interesting. Yeah, so if you see me looking confused and kind of like my brain freezing, is because I'm trying to speak and type on Twitter at the same time. So just send this fantastic tweet for a stream that might be fantastic or not. My music is a bit too loud. Thanks, Mark, for letting me know. Let me tune it down a little bit. Yeah, because we don't want it to overpower the main conversation here, which is all the stuff I'm going to say. Hey, Sharon, what's up? And Mark says, all my work comes from the rest of the world, but it's because my Spanish sucks. But if your Spanish is native, there are jobs here, but it's Latin American pay. Yes, I actually applied as a contractor for a US company, but they were going to hire me through a company in Mexico. And one of the things was trying to figure out how to structure my pay, because they're like, hey, he lives in America, but he's going to be getting paid through Mexico. So it's how do we make it work for everybody? So I think the cost of living is a little bit different. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know much about it. Last time I was in Mexico, by the way, there's definitely a lot of nice houses and expensive houses for sure. So I don't know what people saying cost of living is low there. I mean, you could easily spend money in Mexico for sure. There you go. That's what I thought about pay. I'm in Cali right now, but I'll be moving back. Yeah, man. One of the things that they have now, before we get into the meat of the topic, because I love the conversation we're having here. Man, dude, I am wrong. I must have been in some posh neighborhood. I was actually in Hermosillo, Mexico. And so I was staying there. I used to have family there when I was married. I don't know if you know this, Mark. My wife that I love dearly, she was from Mexico, and we actually broke up, not because we broke up because we couldn't live with each other. She actually ended up getting really, really sick, and she needed to go back home and be closer to her family. And it was really sad and unfortunate. I still to this day was oh my God, the best woman I ever had. Yeah. And so, yeah, Mark says Hermosillo is pretty expensive. Yeah. And I wish that, life and world didn't work in mysterious ways. But yeah, it was a very sad story, but man, Mexican food is phenomenal. Oh my gosh. It is so delicious and so good. It's pretty good. Mohammed says, I also already wasted a few years to learn web development. Nowadays, I'm seriously involved. By the way, let me know how old, if you anybody is, because I'll be curious to know, because I literally got my first real tech job at 39. And so just to put things in perspective is that, what am I trying to say? Is that as older you get, it is still really hard, but it's not impossible, right? I was gonna say everybody could do it. No, everybody who's willing to put in the work and do what is required to do it. And Sharon's 55, nice. But the truth is the older we are, like, I just want to be honest with people up front, is that the harder it takes. And this is why I'm a big believer of this idea of coding in public, learning in public, putting stuff out there. This is why I'm not shy with my YouTube channel. And I'll tell you, like, the fact that I was publicly showcasing how nice, Sharon says, I feel like 20. That is awesome. I am like 42 right now, and I feel like 55. I got to change like what I eat. I think that's such a big and important part for sure. But what I was going to say is that the truth is, whenever you're getting started at any age in web development, you need to have good focus. You need to have a roadmap, but more importantly, you also have to have things that you could start literally today in terms of building a community, being part of networks, going to meetups, having a LinkedIn, having a GitHub. And we'll talk about all of this today. You know, I feel 25 when I'm not breaking bones. Yeah, for sure. This is why I gave up doing mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I had just too many injuries. Like when I was still doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if I wake up in the morning, I look like an elderly person and I move like one. It would take me like 45 minutes to warm my body up to where I could feel like I am able to function like pain-free. And so web development literally saved my life from the standpoint where I get to do stuff that, you know, it's safer for my body. But we're going to get into it. Oh my God, Mohammed, I'm just 23 and IT student learning like a tot self. Oh my God, you have the whole world in your fingertips. I would give so much to be 23 again, but that's not how the world works. And so this is why I tell you, the older you are, you have to have realistic expectations. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging the fact that ageism might be an issue if, learning to code will be hard. How do you build experience when you're older, and like what are the shortcuts? And the shortcuts is like you just have to do massive amount of work, which is unfair. But MMVEX says I'm 30, make a decent income, but I'd love more flexibility to be with the family at the same time, work in a field that challenges me. And that's actually a really great question because I actually used to have my own mixed martial art and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, and I was making really decent income. And when I switched careers, I actually took a pretty hefty pay cut, believe it or not, on my first dev job. Actually, if anybody could, everybody who knows me on this channel probably knows what my first job paid. But if you don't know, you could do some guesses in the comments, and then I'll tell you the answer. But which is a good point here with Mark. When you are young, they complain you're too inexperienced to hire. When you're older, they say you're too old and experienced. It's all lies. And it's true. But here's the thing that I would tell you. The reason why I am able to, and this is something Mark and I talked about, get to, by the way, check out his channel. He does some amazing stuff, by the way. And when I could go without sleep, I went without pretty much sleep last night because I actually like started getting into music. I'm actually pretty proud of this. Let me share this terrible rendition of an 80s song I used to like. I'll do it on Twitter here before we get too far with you because I think it's good to have hobbies, but don't ask me how long it took me because I tried to play stuff by ear. And I don't actually know music. You might be fooled that like, it's like, oh, Paul might know something about music. I know like a little bit. But the issue here is that it just all takes time to learn. I made $8 an hour at 17 in construction, made 20 an hour, 18 as a coder. Dude, you beat me. I was making... I will wait to see what other people say, but I'll tell you what my first job was. It was insane. Coder lady, hello. It's definitely not easy to get a job as a beginner developer, especially here in France. They are still looking for degrees. Yes, that's kind of like, it sucks that people still having a hard time. I think like it depends on which company. I mean, you could, see if what I would say, look for some startups in your area and see if you could find something. I know it's hard. I know Strappy in certain cases, they will hire, like if someone is either changing career, so doesn't have a degree, but you do have to have the experience and prove it, which is true. And Northern Chimp says, I feel 7 when I'm learning to code, but 97 when get blocked, 100%. But here, let me share my, like, it's good to have hobbies, right? And I think like I used to not have hobbies for the longest time. And just recently I got into, I guess you would say music. And so it's like, yeah. It's like, how do you, anyway, I you know what, I don't have, I'll share, you guys can go on my Twitter and check it out yourself. I'm too embarrassed now to share it publicly. And here I am talking about share publicly. No, I'll share it in a little bit. If you stick around, I'll show you what I made for a song. But I wanna, wow, Sharon, my first job in 1987 was 13 an hour as a radiation therapy technologist at Duke University. So here's the crazy thing. When I was 39, like 43 years ago, almost like 4 years ago, I got paid as a developer $13.75 an hour. I did it for a 1 year, almost and a half, to just do it for the experience. It's so insane. Yeah, here's another thing. Germany also has a lot of coding work. If you can't stomach living there, we actually have a community member, Kit Kat, who actually started with me long time ago, even when I was still on my journey. And she went from working in a law field, and she just didn't like it, and she switched and decided to learn to code, and now she's been working as the developer almost a year, but she lives in Germany. And I think it's again, and it just takes a massive amount of work to get there. So I will later share the song that I made last night that is actually really, I don't even know if it's good. It's like a rendition of this 80s song that I like. But that's why I didn't sleep last night much. But I think on the Friday night, it's like, it's okay if you stay up late, you know, it's good. And I also like stayed up. It's funny because I did more young people need to get in trades. Yeah, 100%. I think it's good. There's nothing wrong with that. I used to do constructions like a while before. I really loved it. The issue with doing construction is that as older you get, the harder it gets. But anyway, we're going to get to the topic. I keep saying we're going to get to that. We are going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it for sure. But what I'm going to say is, get a sip of my coffee, is that there's two ways to look at it. There's one way is where you just kind of wait for stuff to happen to you, and the second way, you make stuff happen to you. So like one gig that, or trick that I played with myself, and I didn't want to be self-employed, by the way. I didn't want to do freelancing developer jobs. But the game that I played, I was like, look, I'm going to try to find clients to whom I could build projects while learning to code. And then I'm also going to try to build that experience to get hired. And eventually I got hired. It just, I think it's, and something what Mark and I talked about. So I told him on his, I don't remember his, I think his stream. Go like check out his channel. So there's a lot of great stuff. But I asked, and I said, he said like, what's some of the issues you were having? I was like, look, ageism was a problem. People saying you're too old, until I wasn't. And the point he was making is that, look, like when people were using that as an excuse, you were just not experienced enough to add enough value to the company, where it was a no-brainer for them to be like, hey, we're going to hire you, right? You have to basically take every obstacle out of the question that they may ask, like, what can you bring to the company? And so while I was inexperienced, and please note this part, I was inexperienced because the bar to enter to the field is not as low as people think. It's actually quite opposite. It is challenging. There's stuff you want to and have to know, and we're going to talk about in the roadmap that I have here in just a moment. But the reason people were kind of using ageism as an example is or as an excuse not to hire me, and because I felt that way and I thought that's what it was because my experience and value that I could bring to the company was way less than them giving me the excuse that I'm older. And when I got to a point where it's like, oh, Paul actually knows what he's doing, now it's not an issue. Now nobody like even questions that about me. So it's really important to kind of understand that once you have the experience, once you get that first job and you continue to grow your experience, you are going to get there. So the first thing I want to say before, if I were to learn to code again, what would I do again, if you are serious about coding, if you're serious about coding, right? You like, even before you write your first code, right? And I'm gonna show this as an example. And this website that I'm gonna show you, by the way, that I set up without even knowing much. Like, you don't really need to know much code, but you should have like a, what I call a resume facing website, which kind of like showcases like what your goals are, what you're looking to do. And I specifically did not put any portfolio projects on the side because I wanted to show you, like, you don't even have to have a portfolio before setting this up. So let me share my screen. So I want to talk about 3 important things that you should start today. And just put it out there, because otherwise you'll never get to it before you even start to learn to code if you're serious about it. Because you have to understand, part of the way to get a job, what's up, Engine Boy, how you doing? To get a job is to put the intention out there that this is what you want, you're serious about it, and starting to build a community. And by the way, if you haven't smashed the like button, don't smash it for me, but smash it for the wonderful conversation that people are having in the chat, which I really love. And I love to see that. And by the way, happy, amazing Saturday. I hope your Saturday is amazing. But here's like something I want to show you. So the 3 things that you should have in general to put your intention out there. Number 1, I went to Bootstrap Made. I literally found this theme and I just added my own text here. Like, you literally don't need to know much about coding. I even did not remove like lorem ipsum here, and this form doesn't even work, but it's fine. But it's putting the intent about like what I want to do. It talks about, here's the technologies I work on day-to-day basis. And even if you haven't started, right, write this out. I might have to change some of this stuff because this is a little bit older, but write it out, because this will be your roadmap to help you identify what you should learn to get the job that you want, even if you might not know this. So when I created this, I might have not known all of this stuff, but this was the goal, to use it as a roadmap. And then if you don't have a resume, it's fine. I have a great video talk about how to make resumes, and I will do that too. And let's see here. And I'll come back to the comments in just a second. Otherwise, I'd lose my job. So number 1, have like a simple portfolio site, like a resume site, whatever. Even if you don't have all the information, set up the foundation so you could start at it here as you go. Otherwise, you'll never do it. Number 2, you should have GitHub, right? So I have a free community that I have to be involved on more. But my prerequisites for people, it's like, look, if you want to get involved in the community, you got to at least send me your link to your GitHub so I know you're serious about coding and you're serious about doing what you have to do. And I want to actually share something with you here. How do I, what, didn't they have a thing where you could see like by years, like when you did stuff? I don't know. There's a different view somewhere. Let me see where it is. I have no idea. You would think I'd be like, they're always like doing stuff, with GitHub. I don't know. Your profile, I guess. I was just there. They used to do it by year. They might have like switched here. Oh, here it is. I'm just silly. I was used to dark mode. But first of all, I want to show you have to get started. By the way, this is one mistake I made. Here's 2013, right? One little commit here. I didn't start. I started trying to learn to code, and I was serious about setting up GitHub 2013. Let me show you the one mistake that you could make is not to commit and do things seriously. Hey, Jose, thanks for stopping by. We'll check you out. Have a great rest of the weekend. And Calvin, yeah, I'll definitely say hello to John. I know he's going to be live streaming maybe today at some point. If you were to begin all over again, would you Dutch Angular for React? I still love React. React is still my thing. So I think it depends on your area where you are. Definitely know what the demand is. But here's the thing that I want to share with you here. Like when you start to code, number 1, set up a GitHub, and then don't spend years like I did. Look, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, maybe try a few more things. 2018, more serious. Like I spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years before really getting serious about my coding journey. Do not make that mistake. I can't stress this enough. This was the biggest mistake. I could have been in a job much earlier, but as you could see, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, like I'm on a roll, like more serious about like what I'm doing. And so you need to have GitHub. And the last thing that you want to make sure that you have outside of this resume website that that I showed you here. Let me go back here. Oh my gosh, the back button. Jesus, I went to too many places. It's coming. It's coming right here. Right here. Yep. I should probably make the link open another page so I don't have to do this. So number one, have a basic website to throw your intent that you want to be a developer. You know, I used Bootstrap Made. Like if you Google Bootstrap Made, I'm just showing you all the secrets. You don't need a course on how to create a portfolio website and spend money. You just go to Bootstrap Made. It's free, featured templates. I paid for mine because I didn't want to have a watermark, but no excuse. Let's see if, oh my God, is this Paul's portfolio site that he made? That I never said I made it, by the way. I said I used the template clearly. And so you have no excuse to set something up where you could set your intention of what you want to do, how you want to do it. Mine looks like a little bit different because I organize a little bit different, but it doesn't matter, right? You just get the template, get started. You need a home for people to be able to find you. You know, when you're putting the intention out there, like when I was learning to code, I told everybody, I was like, I'll build anything. I'll build it. It's like, I'm like that. It's like, I'll do anything for a crack, you know, like, you know, butt crack, not the drugs crack, right? Just YouTube. Make sure you pay attention, right? But yeah, so there's no excuse, right? And also, you need to set up LinkedIn. If it's available in your country, you got to network. You got to do stuff. You got to do things. You want to set it up. I got to update that a little bit there, that image. But you have to set things up in a way that when people come to your LinkedIn, and it takes time, by the way, it's not going to happen overnight, but that's where you have to start now. You got to start right away to at least get those basics before you get into the roadmap. And, you know, if you could, you know, and by the way, I just want to show you something. Like right now, if you look at here, look, front-end developer, software engineer, developer advocate. But if you look at all my previous experience, when I started, co-founder and 50 partner of Super Kids Karate, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I used to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for like way too long. And then I worked as sales associates in the Harvard. Then I did internships in PHP. Then I did like some contract stuff for as a junior, Fluid Logic. Then I went back to working as a marketing manager at a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school. Then I worked as a front-end developer at Point Marketing. Then eventually this is what I consider my real software engineering job. Worked at VersaSuite. Then I worked at Red Hat Research. And now I work at Strappy. And so the reason why I'm showing you this is like a lot of times people just see the first top. But if you first wondering, like this is like what my LinkedIn and resume look like. So it takes time to build, but you could do it. But if you don't start now, like, what are you going to show? Like, when you get there, you'll never get there. You got to start now. You got to have those basics. So quick review before we run into the meat of what I were to learn again. And I'm glad that we have Mark here because I love to hear his opinion as well because he has really good advice. And of course, I'm going to talk from my own bias here. And I already know where he's going to ask or leave a question, which is fine because it actually makes sense what he's going to say. But what you need to do is definitely set up a LinkedIn, a placeholder for your dreams, a resume, website, even if you only have this section, right? Your contact information and the tech you want to learn, even if you don't know it, because this could work as your roadmap. And eventually you could add all this other stuff as you build that experience, have your LinkedIn and have your GitHub, right? You need to have your GitHub. And then there's other stuff getting in the community that I will talk about later. Not so much in this video because this video is more of the roadmap to take of things to learn. But in terms of how to get noticed, how to build your experience, we could talk about it in the next live stream for sure. And then, yeah, and when I was learning to code, Mark, is the same thing. He's like, I told everybody I will code anything for you. True. And then Coder Lady says, I tried front end and now back end with Java Spring Boot. I do prefer back end more. Do I still have to build extremely good looking portfolios? I think like, that's a great question. I think you should just like have something that looks somewhat pleasing to the eye, that showcases where you're making requests to your back end, and literally don't make it yourself. Use something like Tailwind or get like whatever, like a template. But more importantly, like they're gonna really care about like what your backend looks like. And for a lot of those backend interviews, they're literally gonna ask you just to build stuff with backend. And a lot of times when you're testing your backend, you're doing it through like API requests using like Postman or Insomnia or something like that. Man, thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it. You know, I try my best. And again, like I said, the reason I'm able to say this stuff that I'm saying is because like I'm living the journey and I'm still moving through it. Yeah, set up GitHub before you write. Oh, hell yeah, you got to do this. And train using it, doing your tutorials. Yeah, for sure. First, set up GitHub to build personal website and contribute to others, and set up LinkedIn. Yes, exactly. That's a great summary of what we're talking about. So let's kind of jump in and look at the roadmap. So I made this a while ago because I want to talk about the changes and the general like outline here. And I'm going to add my 2 cents here. Is number one, get comfortable, you know, GitHub, so you could commit your code, learn HTML and CSS. You should be able to take a design and convert it to code, like in the most basic sense before jumping into Tailwind. After you learn HTML and CSS, I would learn JavaScript and understand the basics of the language, understand how to work with asynchronous JavaScript, arrays, a little bit with objects, and then learn how to make requests to APIs, right? Then learn, and this is like the older, and I'll talk about the changes. Learn React, because React is still popular, right? Next.js is built with React. Remix is built with React. You know, a bunch of other stuff built with Remix. And this is where Mark would like say to me that you could actually skip learning React and jump right into Next.js, because you could learn React while building Next.js application. And I'm still under the opinion, like, understand your history a bit and just take one React course. But this is where like my opinion would change, where I would say right after you complete your React course, go ahead and take a Next.js course right away. Yeah, and 100%, you only need one book for JavaScript, and JavaScript, the good parts. But what I would say is like you actually only need one resource per thing. And I'm going to show that in a little bit, because the biggest thing and the easiest mistake that people make is they get stuck in tutorial hell. And I have over 500 courses on Udemy that I bought. That's like, I don't know how much money that is. Please do not do the math. I don't feel like being depressed. I'd be probably not allowed to say that word, depressed. And then depressed like means like I depressed the button, right? YouTube is like so crazy what you could say now. But the thing is, it's like I spent so much money on courses, and I realized that you only need one good course per thing that you want to learn. And I'll talk about that more and the process about it in just a little bit. But from my perspective, like once you learn React or whatever framework of your choice, you definitely need to be comfortable with consuming APIs and being able to perform full CRUD, at least from the front end. And you don't even have to make your API yourself. You could use something like Strapi, but understanding, you know, how CRUD works, how to use an existing API to get data, to post data, super important. And understanding databases, not from the standpoint where you're like a database genius and master, but from the standpoint that you understand that when you put data in your application, it starts somewhere in the database. And there's a mechanism that data is retrieved, which is handled by the backend. And you have an endpoint through the API provided to you to be able to perform like CRUD operations. So know the basics, know how like look and find stuff in the database just from the general standpoint. Like you need to have an understanding. And what I would say, if you're learning databases, I know people love Mongo a lot, but on a lot of jobs, and there's nothing wrong with Mongo, by the way, but as a beginner, like I spent a lot of time building applications using either Firebase or something with Mongo. But my first job that I got, and all the jobs that I had since, they all use some sort of SQL database. So I still recommend start a project. Don't use Firebase. Listen, if you want to get hired, don't worry about it. And just start with an SQL database. I know Mark might give some, because I know he's a big fan of MongoDB. And I'm going to say there's certain use cases where Mongo is definitely a better choice. There's a certain reason behind it. But from just strict standpoint in terms of in my area, the most commonly used database is SQL type database. So this is what I'm talking about. So when you are looking to learn, right, you need to identify your goals, right? And here's what it comes down to. It's like, make a choice of what you want. You need to do the research. You need to figure out what is the most common thing that is in demand in your area, to make sure that you're not learning stuff that's wrong, right? And to make sure that you are learning stuff that actually is going to give you like a chance of getting hired. Like, right, if in your area, let's say PHP is super popular, let's say like 100% of jobs is PHP, and then you're for some reason learning C#, right? There's no jobs in C# in your area. Like, you know, regardless how you feel about PHP, like if that's majority work that you have in your area, that's kind of what you have to learn. In my area, React is still king. JavaScript is still king. There's plenty of other jobs, by the way. If you're learning Python, if you're learning C#, ASP.NET, there are jobs for you as long as you're learning something that's in demand in your area. So to be honest, I predominantly use Postgres, and I haven't done MySQL yet. I know some people really prefer MariaDB, especially for production stuff, but I started with Postgres. I haven't played too much with Pure. Actually, I did a little bit of SQL at my Versa Suite job, but not enough to really make a decision what's better, MySQL or Postgres. But I do know a lot of people also talk really highly about MariaDB. And that's a great question, Tom. What's the best way to see what types of jobs are relevant in the area? So we have like sites like Glassdoor or Indeed, where you could actually search job sites, exactly like Mark says, search job sites. Oh man, I didn't even try HarperDB. I'm gonna have to check it out. So much stuff to learn. But yeah, like Mark says, use job sites and filter by the area you're looking locally. And this is exactly what I was going to recommend: is do the research, figure out. And for me, like, there's enough of React jobs to be like, hey. And so the progress that I started to make on my journey is when I finally made a choice of the path to take. Because prior to making a choice, and this is why I have this diagram, because I messed up prior to this. I tried to learn everything: Ruby, Python, C++, you know, C#, like C. I actually liked coding in C for fun, right? I don't want to work with it, but it's kind of cool to understand, like, kind of where the programming language come from. I didn't go as crazy as, you know, doing assembly and like whatever, but I think C is like good, like for people just to take a look at, be like, oh, how did you used to do things in C? But decide and make sure. So I just literally said, I'm going to be a React developer, and I'm only going to focus on those things that fit within that box. And if they don't fit into this box, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste my time. So no PHP for me anymore. No C like plus for me. No C. It's just because your time is limited and you really have to get and go. So once you make a choice, yeah, I'll post a link to this and let me know if it's public. It should be publicly available. I'm going to throw it in the chat here. I'm going to update it. So here is to decide what to learn. And so I'm going to update this later, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to talk about, and it'll be great to get feedback from the community, what you all think, you know, is important. So number one, I still stick by decide what to learn, make sure it fits into the box of the thing that you want to do. I want to be a React developer. So Git and GitHub 1000% you need to understand right from the start. And it doesn't take much to learn the basics. Push, pull, don't even like, you know, rebase, merge, and that's it. Like, right, like don't have to go too crazy with it, but understand GitHub. And then you need to learn HTML, CSS. I still say learn Sass, right? And this is like kind of what I would say, understand this before you learn a framework. And you should be able to, it wants a sign in. Interesting. I think you need to have a account, but this should be publicly available. Let me see here. No, see, it's not private. I can't even make it private because I'm using the free. So I think you need to have a login for Mirror. It's free, so you might have to create it. But hold on, can edit team. Anyone with a link? Okay, can view. That was my fault, everybody. I'm gonna update this. Thanks, Mark, for pointing that out.
you should be able to like do stuff here. So let me throw that in again. But try this without an account, see if it works. They might ask you to create an account anyway, because that's how like a lot of these services work, but it's free, no issues. Let's go back to our developer roadmap thing. And so, yeah, so GitHub for sure. I would, if I were to do it again, I would learn HTML, CSS, and SAS, and then I would work on learning JavaScript. JavaScript is required, right? If like you just need it. Like it doesn't matter where you do, like in whatever development you are. Oh, thanks, Mark. Now it's public. Fantastic. Thanks for bringing that up to my attention. See, you know, love the community. Love the community. It is amazing. So it's still important to know JavaScript, and this is what I like about JavaScript. What I like about JavaScript, what I like about Mark. Mark did a stream a couple days ago where he actually literally showed you that you still use vanilla JavaScript in most cases, and you still need to understand. Go check out his YouTube channel. It's phenomenal. And you need JavaScript. And so after JavaScript, what I would say, like stuff is going to change here. Stuff is going to change here. Let me like move this down here. And I'm probably not going to put it in any, let me just duplicate this in any particular order, whatever. So now here, what I would say, I would personally recommend take one React course to know the basics, right? But after React, what the hell am I moving blocks here? You want to learn Next.js. It's taking over the world, right? And I mean, I also like Remix now, but Next.js for sure. And Mark would say that you could literally go skip create React app, which is what I'm referring to, learn React, and jump right into Next.js. And you know what? Like I used to push back a lot more on that, but I agree with it. Like, so if you want to take one React course just to understand where you're coming from, go ahead and take it, but don't spend too much time on it. Don't try to get too crazy down the rabbit hole with Redux and all that other stuff. Just learn the basic things to React. And the reason why I say this is because number one, learn JavaScript so you know what JavaScript is, right? And number two, learn React after JavaScript so you know which parts are React and which parts are vanilla JavaScript. I think having that distinction is super, 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 super important. Now, let me like, by the way, just do this quickly to make it easier. I meant to say go to YouTube. What are you doing? What are you doing, computer? YouTube. We go here, your channel, not my account. Oh my God, people see how many YouTube channels I have that I do nothing on. I just like creating YouTube channels for no reason. Your channel. Here, click this link here, and let me share this with all of you here. The link to Mark's channel, super awesome. Go ahead, check it out. There's a lot of great stuff, a lot of good stuff. And so back to our Miro board. And yes, and so what I would say, learn React for historic purposes. And I still would recommend doing one React course, like I said, but then spend most of the time with Next.js. I think it's super important nowadays. And after JavaScript, by the way, I'm going to put it here for now, but because you could make your React learning journey and Next.js learning journey a little bit easier. Maybe don't worry too much about TypeScript, but now I would say you need to learn TypeScript. You just need to know TypeScript. If you want to work at a company and you want to get hired, you will need to be familiar with TypeScript. And TypeScript is important just because, listen, everybody is using it regardless how you feel about it. I know how Mark and I feel about TypeScript, but we're not going to argue with the fact that people are using it at work and it's a requirement. Certain projects like Angular, out of the box, it's TypeScript, right? Some things like Remix, like even Strappy, they give you an option to choose JavaScript, TypeScript, but everybody's moving to TypeScript. The one thing that I would say about TypeScript is don't feel intimidated because you could literally use it piece by piece. You could start a TypeScript application, and if you don't feel comfortable with it, just change your file from TS to JS and just write JavaScript. And then once you learn more about TypeScript, you could, in the next file, you know, write some TypeScript and call it TS. And this is why I like the flexibility. Yeah, you 1000% have to learn TypeScript. And so that's what I would say. So the changes that I've made, JavaScript, React. I'm going to put a question here because you could right away jump into Next.js, but I still recommend learn React, learn Next.js, learn TypeScript. This one we could delete, right? And then I still would say learn to consuming APIs, which I'm including in that. Understand full CRUD functionality and be familiar with like just the general big picture overview of databases available. So I think this is how I would update my like what to learn journey is I would say understand GitHub, learn HTML, CSS, and Sass, know JavaScript, you know, maybe learn React, but you could go straight to Next.js. I still recommend learn React, learn TypeScript, consume APIs, databases, and then when you build, you know, a couple of like one project with React and, you know, let's say with traditional CSS, like for your next project, you can just use Tailwind. I recommend Tailwind for everybody now. Tailwind is super amazing. I'll talk about this stuff in a little bit, but for now, I want to talk about how do you approach learning? Like, what do you do once you figured out, okay, we decided what we want to learn. We made our choice. We decided our learning path. And now we're only going to stick to this learning path. Notice I didn't say PHP or C# or any of that jazz here. That means I'm not going to touch it. I only have so many hours in the day, so I'm not going to work on stuff that takes me away from achieving my main goal of becoming a React developer. And a lot of people ask me, like, how do I, and this should, by the way, be like Tailwind at this point. I love you, Bootstrap, but we're past that. I'm sorry, you're dead to me. No more Bootstrap. And it took forever because I was a big proponent of Bootstrap. And so here, like, I kind of show like some of the things you should focus on in this learning journey. This should be CSS and, you know, CSS framework and Sass, whatever. And definitely you need to know responsive design. Like in 2022, like Jesus, mobile first, responsive design, understand how everything works, super important. And if you work with Tailwind, Tailwind makes it easy to do all those things. So this is the process I follow. Now, this is the process. Learn first, right? Don't rush through it. Like, try to do too many crazy things at once. It's only going to disappoint you. You know what I mean, right? And so what I'm saying here is when you decide what you want to learn, and this is like the process. Let me just zoom out here a little bit so we could see. Learn. This is the outline I still follow to this day, and this is my way. If you find a better way that works for you, great. If you don't, use this. And if you do nothing, then don't be surprised that nothing happens, right? Yeah, this is like a great point here. Yes, I saw an interview test provider website. They say that TypeScript tests are popular among recruiters. Yeah, like it's just a thing. This is where the world's moving. It's moving into TypeScript. So back to this. So once you decided the roadmap you have, and this is what I did. I created this roadmap for myself to learn. And notice how each new block is still following this rotation process here. So let me talk about what this is, and let me tell you how useful this is and what this is going to happen. And so number one, what you need to do, and by the way, if you haven't smashed the button, like we need to have like bajillion likes, not for me, but for you. Like if you're having a good Saturday, just smash the like button for yourself. If you like really love what we're doing. And by the way, if you did not exist and you didn't have this community for me be a part of, man, I would not exist. So thank you so much for participating and being so awesome. But the thing that I want to say is, here you go. Learn, build. Learn, build. This is the process that I go through to this day, and this is what I recommend to people. Once you decide, we had, so Kodo Lady was here. I was actually, KitKat, it's awesome that you were probably here forever, but KitKat here, I just wanted to give credit. We met when I first had the YouTube channel just starting, before I even knew what the hell I was doing. And what I remember seeing her is she literally did the work. It was a struggle for sure. It was hard. And she's, I think you're still like living in Germany. But she was able to make the transition, and you know, it was really challenging. But the reason I bring KitKat up is because it's the first real person that I knew who outside of me that I could see proof of concept of following a plan, doing the work, and getting hired. And man, fantastic. Lots of respect. And so when people say to me like, how do you know that this stuff works? Is because now it's like more people, not just like KitKat that got hired. There's a lot of people in our community that are getting hired. So it's possible, but it's not easy. I just don't want you to get things twisted here. It takes time for sure. Yeah, and so here we go. This is the path that I do. So number one, find one resource. You don't need many resources. Find the one, man, KitKat, you're just awesome. You know what I mean? Like, so no, thank you. It was amazing. And here's the steps that I would say. If you have bajillion, like I'm going to tell this to you right now. I'm going to do this for fun. I have two Udemy accounts, right? I'm going to go on one. I'm going to go on one of them. I just want to show you something why I am like, listen, you only need one resource. You only need one resource. By the way, in this, goddamn sales always get me, and I already have something in the shopping cart. Forget this. This particular account, like, I don't know how many courses it has, My Learning. Like, so it has 219 courses, but I think I also have archived courses. And then I have another account, and I have 69 archived. So that's almost like 300 courses just in this particular account, right? Did I learn it? Like, I probably completed like 4, 5, 6 courses, what have you. But here's the point. If I do HTML and CSS course, right? I'm about to show you the argument why I say all you need is one course, right? Let's open this a new tab. Let's open this a new tab. And I prefer John Smilga courses, by the way. This is one of the best HTML and CSS courses that I like. And all the courses done by John, by the way, massive course, massive. What I like about John's courses, there are so many projects that you build, so much stuff that you build that they're like phenomenal. But I'm not saying like you have to take his courses. I'm just saying that that's funny to have that course. This course I have in my older account because he released this course a while ago. I actually like this course as well by Brad. And obviously I have this course. But if you look through the outlines, HTML fundamentals, hyperlinks, blah, 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 CSS fundamentals, laying out stuff. We go to Brad, nothing against any of these creators. I have all the courses. Look, HTML basics. They're mentioning the same goddamn thing. CSS basics, literally following the same outline. So what I'm saying is find an instructor you like and then get their one course. You don't need to have all of them like I have. And so you only need one resource, right? And this, because they all repeat, they all share the same information. So just find the one that you like the best and stick with it. Doesn't matter. It has to be the one that I recommend. You only need one. And this is, if you don't have one, like you are literally holding yourself back through like overthinking and overdoing stuff. So what you need to do is follow the steps. So I found this course. I really liked it. I got this course. Fantastic. And so this is the process that I go through. And it doesn't have to be a Udemy course. It could be anything you want. Number one, get one resources. Got it. So number two, complete the course fully. And what I mean, just go through the course, do every exercise. And then what's going to happen, build all the projects in that particular course, right? So that course, and I'll show you like something I did from Brad Travesty's course. I haven't like actually done a lot of Netlify stuff. Like I haven't visited my Netlify for forever, but I'm gonna see like just to show you an example. I have some projects that are unfinished, but here's like what I mean. So this was based off what I learned following Brad Travesty course. Come on, can we see the project? Can we go to the page, please? My internet's a little bit slower, but here's what I did. I took the course, I completed it fully, and I built a project that he built in that course, and it's fully responsive. It's pretty cool, and I did give it my own personal spin here. And if you take a look here, like if you shrink it, it does change, you know, it is responsive design. It's pretty neat, pretty cool. We have our about section here. pretty nice. And again, everything is like super responsive. So the point that I'm saying is go through the course, complete it fully, complete it completely. Don't leave any stone unturned. Don't even think about switching to another course. Build all the projects and add them all to GitHub. So now, even though you just started out, you don't have your own personal projects, right? But you have projects that you build for this course. Fantastic. Put it in GitHub. Put it for now in your portfolio site as a placeholder until you create your own projects. And this is the most important part. Most important part that I swear to God, if you don't do this part, I will shake you, in my imagination, not in real life, right? Because I would never do that for real. But listen, once you complete one course, build all the projects, complete it completely, put it on GitHub, you now have the experience. Don't move on to the next course. Don't buy another HTML course. Build stuff. Build. You can't zoom in a little bit more, but build something of your own based on what you learn. I can't stress this enough. You need to, after you complete the course, based on what you learn, yes, you have the projects that you build in the course that you put into your portfolio. Great for you. So that 500 million people in the world that took that same goddamn Udemy course. What you need to do now is build your own project that nobody will have, because you build it yourself based on what you learn. And this is the key part if you want to make sure that you're not wasting time while going through this journey. And in our case, it would be an HTML and CSS project that you built yourself. And I have one of those myself. So this is what I built based on Brad Travesty's course. But then I went ahead, following my advice, and I'm going to show you like a personal project that I built myself. Just have to find it. What page is it on? Is it on the next page? Where is it? I didn't delete it, did I? That would be like so sad. I was so proud of it. I was so proud of that project that it's got to be here. No. No, is it this? No. Is it this? No. Is it this? Oh my God, I deleted it. Are you kidding me? No. I deleted that project. Whatever. Like, just imagine this is another project I'm working on. Just imagine this is a HTML and CSS project that I built. Whatever. This is just like an initial page, and you got to log in. But build your own thing, right? Build your own thing. I'm really upset. I can't let this go. I can't believe my community thing that we built. Oh God, but anyway, I'm kind of like getting too crazy here. But I'm just so upset that project doesn't exist anymore. You got to be kidding me. Not cool at all. It was like, I was so proud of it. It's got to be, here it is. Never mind, it's still here. So this was like, after you finish HTML and CSS course, build your own project. That's your own. So here's something I built. I wrote the CSS myself. I did this, I wrote all the code myself. Did I get this? Did I design this myself? No, I'm not a designer. I saw a design template. And so basically what I did, I screenshot the pictures. And then based on that, I pretended like this is something that a designer gave to me. And so let me see if I could recreate it with HTML and CSS. So that's the whole point. So come back to our roadmap, complete all the courses. You only need one. You don't need 2, 3, or 4. Use one resource, complete fully from start to finish. Do all the projects that are based on that course that you could use as filler in your portfolio, put it all on GitHub, then build your own projects. Build your own, so this was a project I built using Traversy's course, not my own project, right? I put my own spin on it, but it's not my code. I followed him. But this I built myself, and this is the project that I would pull in my portfolio. So now let's take a look to, just in case if people have to jump off earlier, here's the thing, because this is going to repeat throughout everything else we do. And so maybe I don't have to go down the road and look at the questions that people have for sure. Yeah, we've had it in our previous project that we did in V3. We did password reset. It's all coming. It's all coming. I will be back working on the Teams project 100%. It's going to be happening back. I'm just right now on this remix journey for a little bit, but we are going to do that because for me, it's all, we're going to come back to it because that application is too good not to continue finishing. But anyway, and so basically, not to lose my focus here, once you finish the courses, you have all the projects that you built for your course that you could put your own spin on, that you could use as portfolio fillers, but then you could build experience by building your own project based on you learn. Yeah, it might take you some time, who cares? But you need the experience, and what you should be able to do is build a project based on what you learn. And once you build it, you should be able to go in code of this project that you build and be able to talk about it comfortably because you know what you're doing. You know what you are doing. And so that's the pattern that I follow. And once you complete your first course, one course only, once you complete it, do not take another HTML, CSS course. You already know, like when you take math in preschool or like first grade, you take math. When you go to second grade, do you take that same math class again? No, you don't. You don't take that second because you already took it. Why take something twice if you already did it? You're going to continue practicing HTML, CSS, and SAS in the rest of the projects you're going to build anyway. So you don't need to do more HTML, especially if you want to push your progress forward, especially if you want to get hired. So next, you follow the same process for JavaScript, right? You go through the steps, and then you would follow the same process for TypeScript because we updated this. But basically, this is, and I'm not going to show you all of these in details because it's going to be redundant, but here's the secret. Follow this path. Pick one resource, complete fully, build all the projects within that course, within that resource, and then you could use it as your portfolio filler while you build your own project based on what you learn. And you do it, you know, like in this case, it's using JavaScript, and that's the project that you put in your resume, in your portfolio side. And then you do the same thing for everything else, all the technologies. And I know we talked about React. At this point, it could be Next.js. I'm very big at creating a project. Actually, let me talk about this. You need to create a project. Once you learn like React or JavaScript, doesn't matter how you implement it, but you need to practice consuming API, doing full CRUD functionality, do something with authentication. For me, I don't create the backend myself because, again, I'm only focusing on React development. And the two things that I recommend, which something that will allow you to create that project, is either using JSON server, or you could quickly create an API with Strapi. And this is something I'm a big fan of, but I use both. I like JSON server, I like Strapi, but learn how to work with API, how to get data, delete data, update data, and whatever data, you know what I mean? And then you follow that for all the technologies that you created in the roadmap. And you can use my roadmap, but you have to do your due diligence, figure out what to learn. And so here was my roadmap, you know, GitHub, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, or you could go straight to Next.js, TypeScript, consuming APIs and database, and then follow this process. Do a tutorial, build all the projects, put it on GitHub, and then before you do anything else, before you even think about farting even, go ahead and build your own project based on what you learned while that's fresh. And this is what project you put on GitHub and put in your portfolio. Super important. Let me know if you have questions about that. And then this is kind of like disorganized here. Let me so move this down a little bit and talk about these key points here for a second. So this is step one, learn, right? And I did already mention, if you're jumping on late, that before you even learn, there's certain prerequisites you have to do. And I'm going to quickly show them for you right now. Number one, you should create, and I used Bootstrap made. I didn't even build it. Nobody should be building their first portfolio website from scratch themselves. You don't even know enough to do that yet. Buy a template. I got this one for free. I mean, I paid for it because I didn't want a watermark, but like you don't need a course on how to create a developer portfolio for yourself. Just go on Bootstrap made. And I don't get anything from them. Not Bootstrap. Yeah, Bootstrap made. It doesn't even have to be. I just like Bootstrap made because you could see exactly where I got my template. Featured templates. It's free. You could get it now. Here's exactly what I'm using, right? I just went into the HTML and added it to show my data instead of this data. So you don't need to, like, you need to create what I call your intention resume website. You might not have a resume, but at least complete this section, your basic contact, what you want to do, and then complete the skills that you need to learn to get to where you want. And maybe you don't even have these skills, but now you could reference back to this. This is what you want to do. This is what you want to accomplish. And this will dictate how you structure your roadmap that everyone should create yourself. And I shared this link to Mirror in the chat. I'll share it again. Everybody could go check it out, make your own copy, and you can create your own roadmap, but you need to create your own plan. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. We all heard that saying. I can't stress that enough. So let me just answer the last question here. So number one, create this placeholder site that'll be for your portfolios. You might not even have all these other sections. Just start with about you and your skills, even if you're still learning them. Next, right away, set up GitHub. You need GitHub, right? You need to have GitHub. You need it. If you waited, like I show you this example, I set it up in 2013 and I did not do anything, wasted all this time. I could have been developing way faster. But set up GitHub so you could start showing history. People will not check every block or box to see what you did, but they want to see that you're at least coding, right? If you want to be a developer, programmer, coder, you need to code. You need to be coding stuff. And so you need to set up GitHub. And finally, the first thing you want to set up before you even learn is you need to have a LinkedIn, which kind of, again, outlines what you want to do. And now I have more programming experience, but when I first started out, I had taught kids martial arts and Brazilian jiu-jitsu to adults, worked as a sales associate at the Hartford, and then little by little, I added experience. And by the way, when you're building your LinkedIn, it's really nice to also have a section where some people said nice things about you, which is fantastic. It gives you that social proof. And then another thing, what I actually heard from recruiters is this section here where you are endorsed. A lot of times recruiters, when they come here, they're going to first go here, see if you're employed. If you're employed, they want to work with you because they know if you're already employed, it's easy for them to place you in another company. That's why a lot of recruiters will come here, see that you're not employed. Do not put aspiring developer. Just put it as if you're working, whatever. And then you could explain later. And then make sure that you have only endorsements here that are relative to your field. Like if you show all 50 skills, I have stuff in marketing, sales, social media, fitness training, because I use small business insurance because this is all I had to do. But I made sure to only show stuff that's relevant to the field that I want to break into and what I have to do. Let's see here, notifications. Yes. I thought we were already connected. Jesus Christ. Except this engine boy, by the way, dude, everybody I show your portfolio to, they're like, your bug tracker, they're like, he is no junior developer. What do you get the hell out of here? He's not a junior, at least, mid-level. You did a great job on that. Yeah, so you have to have resume side, even if you just complete this basic example, your connections. I have to change my phone number. You need to have GitHub and you need to have LinkedIn. Then you need to create your roadmap based on what's in demand in your area. And you could use this as an example, as a guide, but create your own because you're the only one who's going to know what you need to learn. And then follow this path where you only need one resource, complete the resources fully, build all the projects in that course, resource, whatever. But before you do anything else, go ahead and build it yourself to put for your portfolio. So basically the process I follow, learn, build, or you could see learn and practice, learn and practice, learn and practice. And the practice gives you experience. And by the way, in one of my resume videos, how to build experience when you don't have a job. Actually, let me throw that in a link. I think it's going to be a useful video for you if I could find it. YouTube's coding after 30, build experience resume, I guess. So this is a good one right here. How to write, I think it's this one. I have a bunch of them here, but I believe it's this one right here. Let me share it. If you haven't watched it, let me just quickly actually scroll through it quickly. This was a phenomenal video I did. Come on, add, play. This is a phenomenal video where I show you how to, no, Engine Boy. Everybody's awesome. Alex awesome. Everybody here is awesome. And yeah, Engine Boy, you're awesome. So let me skip this ad here. What the hell? 3 seconds. I'm just showing somebody else's ad. This is like ad inception. I'm on a YouTube channel. So let me just, yeah. So this is the video for you. So this is like, we're going to learn how to write a resume similar to this. Did I already share it? No, let me share it. This is one of the best videos I've done, like hidden gem, if you will. It was a live stream. This will teach you how to write a super amazing resume based off projects that you build for your portfolio without having a job. It's super amazing, super amazing. Yeah, and you'll be able to do that, Tammy, for sure. And I would say create a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript project and then convert it to React or Next.js or what have you. Sharon also says, I've been doing marketing, writing, research on the side, and the guy wants me to do sales, marketing, and take over my LinkedIn page, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, definitely don't. And let's see. So let me share. I'm still trying to share this link to this really amazing video. And so once you have that set up, by the way, next is like, and I already mentioned portfolio, LinkedIn, your preparation. And then once you have, if you don't have a portfolio with at least 2 to 3 projects, like interview prep, doing algorithms are completely useless to you. They're completely useless to you because if you don't have something that is you're able to use to get resumes, using and doing algo stuff at the beginning, this is my, you know, I guess like, whatever opinion that's questionable is that you don't need to do algorithms and data structures too early in your career if you can't build anything. That's just my opinion. If you can't build a website for a customer or someone that's going to hire you, there's no reason to learn it. Like no one's going to hire you because you can't build anything. You follow the logic here, you know, and with that being said, you will need to learn algorithm and data structures eventually, but only learn it when it becomes a problem. And this is exactly what I have the interview prep kind of note here for myself to kind of put things into context here. So I didn't like completely like filled out this section because everything takes works, but here's the idea here. Before you start applying to jobs, you need to have a portfolio with at least 3 projects that you built yourself, because those projects you will be the most comfortable and confident talking about them. Like for instance, when we had Luke on the stream, he showed his C# ASP.NET project that he did. He was able to talk about the code. When we had Engine Boy sharing his project, he was able to talk about the code. Why? Because they wrote their code from scratch themselves, and that's the most important part. So if you don't have a portfolio with 2 to 3 projects that you coded yourself, there's no point of trying to go for interviews. Now, once you get to the point where you're starting to go to the, we should be here. Let me kind of move it here. Just so once you have your portfolio, right, this is what you start focusing. You start doing interview prep. You start learning the basic algo and data structures that you need in order to pass an interview. And then you continue to constantly refine your resume. And I like HackerRank and like to practice stuff. I don't even know how to spell it, HackerRank. And I don't want a trial. How do I log in? What the hell? No. Why is this sales page? Log in with whatever. Log in. It doesn't like, log in. I'm a developer. Log in. I just want to show you one section here. What I don't remember. I haven't used it in like forever. Okay, so not now. And so they have this interview prep kit, and you know, they have like stuff that you could practice and do whatever. Like you could do like little like certification things, whatever. That's not the point. The point here is they have this section here. I believe it's this one. It's been forever. And they show you, actually they changed a lot of stuff, but let's see where it is. Algorithms by topic. So yeah, you could find stuff. I can't find the thing that they had that was like the most important thing, but they basically had the most common algorithmic questions That's stupid that they moved it. I don't know where they moved it, but they used to have a section where they basically showcased the most common questions that were asked by companies during interviews. And it's not everything. And what I would say is, here we go. Here's the section I was looking at. So check this out. Here is the most important part. They show you what should you focus on that most companies will ask. So here, 70% of companies will test arrays. Only 40% of companies test dictionaries. Another 40 test sorting, another string manipulation, and so on. And so you could prioritize what do you start learning first. For instance, linked list, only 8% of companies test. So how important is it to know? Graphs, only 15%. Maybe FANG companies would test. So if you basically understand how to work with arrays, you're covered for 70% of challenges that you're going to see at interviews. And then, if you go to an interview and you see that they're doing dictionaries or sorting, you could learn that as well. And so what I'm telling you is only make this a required thing to focus on after you have a portfolio with projects, especially if you're going the self-taught route. And whenever you do algo and data structures and preparations is only when you're actively going to interviews and you're interviewing and you're running into issues because you're oh, I didn't know how to solve this challenge. And that's the time when you focus on solving those questions. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about it. Let me do a quick review here. So generally you need to have if I were to do it all over again, number one, the first thing right away I would start is create at least a placeholder website for my dreams where I could eventually put my resume and eventually put portfolios, what have you. This I didn't build myself. This is a template from Bootstrap made. That's the route you should go. You don't need to take a course on how to learn how to make a portfolio website. Get the hell out of here, especially for yourself. Just get a template. Number two, you need to have GitHub for sure. Start it today, right now. Go if you don't have it. You should have it. GitHub. And then number three, you need to have LinkedIn. Right. And over time, your experience on LinkedIn will define you more as a developer as you continue building those things. But if you don't start now, right, you're not going to get there. So you need to get those three things now. LinkedIn, what I call a resume or business card site, talking about your intention. And you might not have these skills yet, but use it to guide you of the skills that you have to learn. And then make sure you have your GitHub. Number two, once that's done, Jesus Christ, did I zoom in too much? Number two, once that's done, identify what type of developer you want to be and make sure that it fits with what's in demand in your area. Then make a list of everything you have to learn and then follow this step, this process, so you don't waste time. Whatever you want to learn, let's say it's HTML and CSS, get one resource only. That means one course, either on Udemy, Coursera, whatever the hell you want to go. Complete it fully, build all the projects in that course. And then get on GitHub. And then before you do anything else, before you even go to the bathroom, make sure you right away start building something from scratch based on what you learned. That's going to be your own thing. Put it on GitHub and put it in your portfolio. So you might have some of these projects that you watch somebody else build and you copy and paste stuff. Like the stuff that you build with watching somebody else build, like on Udemy, it's not your thing. It's not your stuff. Like here, like I'm going to show you, do I have it here somewhere? I probably closed Netlify already. Yeah. So yeah, no, I didn't. So this is a project I built off literally copying, pasting what Brad Travesty was doing. Yeah, I put in my own spin, changed the colors a little bit, but this is what Brad did on his tutorial. I didn't build this. So what you need to do is go ahead and build your own project. This is, I build myself from scratch, and this is what I do. So maybe when I completed Brad Travesty's course, I put this on my resume as a placeholder, but once I build my own project from scratch, of course, I replaced it with my own project. And that's the process you follow, is complete the course, complete all the projects in the course, and then before you do anything else, build your own thing to add to your resume. So by the time you're done with this journey, for every thing that tech you need to learn, you're going to have in your resume not only, and you could pick and choose at that point what you want to keep, but not only are you going to have the project-based things that you watch somebody else build, you're going to have your own projects that you build. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least by the time I'm done with my roadmap, I'm going to have 7 projects that I build myself for my resume, and I could pick 3 of the best ones, pick of the 3 best ones. And so that's super important. And then afterwards, you're ready, you start going for interviews. Once you have your portfolio, you have your LinkedIn, you have your GitHub, you start applying. And that's when interview prep comes into handy. Not only doing technical questions, but doing, soft skill questions. That's when you start focusing on data structure and algorithms. Once you're actually able to get interviews, and then that's when you keep tweaking your resume. By the way, I know we've been going for a while. If you're jumping in late, it's okay. This is all recorded, and you will be able to. I'm actually not a big fan of books, and I really didn't like the interview prep algorithm book. I actually like courses, and there's a bunch of great ones on Udemy. They're all good. Just get one with the best rating. Let's see like what I have in my learning, what courses that I bought. Data structures. So yeah, these are all the like courses I had. Obviously, let's see which one they're like. I really like this one by Aaron Traub. I can't pronounce his name. Learning data structures and JavaScript from scratch. The coding interview bootcamp. I didn't really do that one that much, but this was a really good one that I liked. And then I like this one, Data Structure and Algorithm by Scott Barrett. Those are like some of my favorites. But they have a lot of great resources, like free resources on YouTube as well. And there's another website that I am a member of that I didn't use, but like really, really good. Ultimate JavaScript interview course by Eric Traub, like really good stuff. If you guys and girls are looking to learn more about it. But yeah, but I know we've been going for a while. And so if you missed the stream, definitely check this stream out. But let's spend some time just to chat, hang out. But we talked about what I were to do if I were to learn to code again. I gave you a pretty good roadmap, and I need to update my mirror, but I'm going to share with you here just in case anybody wants to kind of use it for their own template and write their own stuff that you want to focus on. Yep, that's another great one by Rob Merrill. He does some good stuff as well. Yeah, I have, to be honest, I have over 500 courses on Udemy. So 500 times $12, Jesus Christ. I am going to cry now. Forget it. Northern Jim had to leave. No, thank you for being here. Sharon, spelling freak, sorry. No. I need all the help. And actually, like in my last stream, I was talking about how do I write articles. So I'm going to share my pro tip with everybody here. How do I write amazing articles? I'm not going to lie. I use Grammarly, right? I have premium because I really suck at writing, but you don't need premium. You could use their free one and you could like write stuff. So everything I do for work, all my blog posts, I just do it through Grammarly. And this is how I slowly improve my writing, and my spelling has been amazing. And if you want to see some of the articles that I wrote, you could go to strappy.io. And I also started writing articles on dev.to, blogs. And this is one of the articles I wrote. And if you're trying to learn how to structure articles, by the way, I actually used to suck at writing articles. And the reason I was able to kind of get better at writing articles is because we have at Strappy this thing, Write for the Community. And anybody could join. And by the way, you could get paid for like submitting some of these topics. But what they have here, they have this submit your own. No, that's not submit. I don't want to submit an article proposal. Community content. Where is it? Guidelines. They actually have a great outline of what they kind of like, how to structure your article the right way, so it's keyword friendly, how to write it. So this is like pretty good guideline. And they also have the template to get started, which shows you how to structure a well-written article. And this is kind of what I use now for all my articles that I write. And this is how I learned to be better at writing articles. And let me go ahead and actually throw that in a link for anyone who's interested. Write for the Community. And I know other companies have that as well. But you know what? Let's stop chatting about code. Let's chat about, well, actually, we could talk about anything. Let me know. Let's do like a just chat, have fun. Yeah, Grammarly is awesome. Tammy has over 100 courses. Let's see here. Yep. Man, Sharon, I'd hate to give you more work to do. So I would feel like really, really guilty asking you to do that. But, maybe I'll do that. And I like 25, 30 Udemy courses and finished 0 and touched only 5 and 7. Exactly. That's like everybody, Engine Boy. That is true. 31 Udemy courses. I know. I'm like the one that probably has, I don't know if there's anybody that has more Udemy courses. I'm sure there is someone. Do you think you should be nervous about all the tech layoffs? That is very interesting because there are layoffs in certain companies. And I talked to a bunch of people, and a lot of, like, for instance, at Strappy, we're not laying people off. We're actually hiring people. And then a lot of companies that do have layoffs, and I talked to some people that work in high positions, and I think you should be worried, but at the same time, don't let it stop you from continuing to try to get a job, because you're still going to get hired. So here's the thing, like, a lot of the people I talk to, they all have their opinions. Some companies are laying people off because they're really like, you know what, we need to prepare for this recession that's literally happening now. Like, it is happening. Don't spend your money, save your money now. So my tip of only using one resources to learn should save you $12 from feeling the need to buy another Udemy course. But here's one thing I would say. A lot of companies that did lay off a lot of people are from companies that actually overly zealously hired too many people to begin with. And so they reduce their kind of like pool of people that they have working. And a lot of times, like, the people that they yes, layoffs, if it's a thing, but it's company per company. And what I wanted to say, just not to get too crazy about it, is to basically be like, hey, it shouldn't stop you from trying to get jobs. There's plenty of startups that you could apply to. There's other, just apply to everything, by the way. You should be applying to everything, by the way. But there's plenty of companies that are hiring because they need a pool of developers to help them reach their goals and grow. Nice. Yeah, they predominantly like code in Python. Python is a great language, especially if you're in cybersecurity, 100%. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, but I just know that, like, I know someone who works at Shopify, and that's what he told me. He said, yeah, we just overhired, and then now we just like laid a bunch of people off, but we're still hiring. You know what I mean? I know some companies do have hiring freezes, but it really depends. Man, I'm going to ask Engine Boy to buy all my Udemy courses here. Fantastic. Listen, Kit Kat, you don't need to worry. Just worry about doing what you're doing. I think you're making amazing progress. This is one thing I want to say. When you get hired, I'm glad that you said this, not enough time to do side projects. When I first started hired, even now, all my side projects, they have to do everything of what I'm doing at work. And they're work related, like everything I do. Like right now I'm doing Remix and Strappy because it's work related, because I'm preparing to do a talk on Remix and Strappy at a Remix meetup. And then I want to do a bigger talk, and then I want to do a stream. And so like everything I'm doing is around only doing things that help me get better at my job 100%. No, I'm not buying any more courses. You got to be kidding me. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Man, that just like makes me hurt. By the way, yeah, this is another one. I agree with Mark. If you've never read this book, read The Richest Man in Babylon to prepare for the next recession. That's one of the best books ever written, and I recommend everybody reads it. And this is kind of like, I knew I liked Mark when he said he loved that book and it changed his life, because it's exactly like a book that I read, and it had like really, profound. It changed the way I think about stuff. And so that is a great book. And you could probably find a free copy for sure somewhere online, which is just a Google step away for you. Yeah. And so, man, what are you all planning for your, I can't even speak. What are you planning for? The weekend, Jesus, it is the weekend, right? It is the weekend. We're having time. So, and I did promise I will show you my terrible, because I've been trying to get into the music. I'm going to show you my rendition of an 80s song that I like. And like, this is not it. This is like a playlist that I have. But I'm not sure how to play system audio for it to work. Man, my audio sometimes, I have no idea how to use my audio. Maybe I'll just share the link. On the weekend, I work for myself. Yeah, nice. The Audible version is awesome. Nice. Yes, I love Audible. It's like fantastic. Like I have this new audio setup and like I have no idea how like stuff works. I'm trying to play something from my computer and it's like, no, I'm not gonna play something from your computer. We don't care for you. Oh, I figured it out. So it's good to have hobbies. So on the weekends, I've been picking up music. So I would like, if you don't follow me on Twitter, I will show you my rendition. Yeah. So until I started at Strappy, I actually didn't use that as a strategy. But after working at Strappy, I realized that working on open source projects is an amazing way to build experience. And I wish I've done it earlier and better. By the way, if you're jumping on the stream, I know we've been going for an hour and a half. And if you missed the bulk of it, definitely rewatch it. I save all my streams. Watch it on 2-speed when you're doing something like laundry or whatever. So much good stuff today. But I've been like, working on building websites. And yeah, so on the weekend, I spent coding on projects that I want to do for myself. Right now, I'm really focusing on Remix and Strappy. So do we email you and provide your GitHub? Yes, 100%. And thanks for reminding me. I'm so bad on that community. I am trying to make an effort to spend more time there. But let me show you a quick thing here. It's absolutely free to join. You need to provide like a GitHub link so I know you're serious about what you're doing. It's like a prerequisite circle community. I don't know. And my goal for next upcoming month is to actually be more engaged there. That's one reason I'm not like on Discord because I just suck at I'm so overwhelmed with communities and stuff so I don't have like Discord. Yeah, and Mark, I will tell you about my first paid job and how much I got paid in USA, and I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, we have this phenomenal community on Circle. A lot of you are already on there. We share stuff. I try to be more publicly available here when I can. So if I'm ever going to be outside of YouTube, this will be the second place I want to spend more time. So the Coding After 30 Discord channel, forget about it. It's just like too much stuff. And I like this because this is more for people that kind of really actively involved in coding. They share their GitHub. And I am going to look into it, Calvin. It's no excuse, but I just have so many emails, and I'm gonna go look through my Coding After 30 email, and I'm gonna add you. But everybody could email me at codingafter30@gmail.com. And so all you need to do is just provide a GitHub link or a project portfolio you built. And let me actually look at Gmail right now while I'm here, and then I'll show you my music journey through on Twitter. And let's see. Hey, Luke, what's up? I'm back again. Or just joining us. We're on the tail end. We're just chatting at this point. And Calvin, you sent me an email to Coding After 30, I'm assuming. Let's see. Oh my God, I have so many emails. Oh my gosh, going straight up database stuff. Nice. I mean, I think you're doing good. I think like the ASP.NET and C#, it's good. I like it. Kevin Doyle, what's up? I love Kevin. I need to get you on the live stream. It'll be such a great conversation. We'll have to figure out time. Kevin is part of Coder Foundry with Bobby. I love those guys. They make amazing content as well. If go check them out. If you go to like, if you want to find a easy way to get there, if you go to YouTube, your channel, and just scroll to the bottom here. Here you go, Coder Foundry. Great stuff. They make amazing videos. And if you're wondering, like the bug tracker idea where it came from, it was not my idea. They created. They have this video called "One Project to Rule Them All." Fantastic video, and they give so much good tips on their channel around what they're doing, and I love it because I do nothing with ASP and C#, but the tips that they give on the channel apply to me, like also, and they give so much value, and it's amazing. A lot of people they have a Coder Foundry Bootcamp. Listen. You watch any of their content, they do such a soft sell, it's like you don't even know they run a boot camp. They give so much value, like such a great stuff. The email I wrote has a typo. Coding after. I can't talk and type. It's my weakness after 30 at gmail.com. And yeah, we'll definitely, Kevin, talk music stuff. And I was actually going to share my I'm trying to learn music. And so this was like my latest attempt, rendition to try. I love like 80s music. I'm like a big fan. And so this is my rendition playing by ear, trying to figure out I don't know if you could guess what song this is. But yeah, this is what I do on the weekends. Just hang out. Nice, Sharon. I'll check it out. And Kelvin, how long ago did you send your email? I mean, I have some 1,000 emails. I'll find it. Or if you want, send me another one. I feel like really unprofessional asking about it. But at the same time, I am kind of... Yeah. Man, I love 80s music. Such a big fan. And I don't even think this is right, but whatever. It's all good to me. But, have fun on Saturday. So, by the way, this is why I didn't sleep. And then to answer Mark's question, how much did I get paid on my first dev job? I will get to that after we finish this amazing song. Because anything I make, even though it might not be as amazing, I feel it's amazing. Yeah, I have too many emails. Maybe we'll do like one stream where it's going to be like Friday party with music. Oh, Kevin, because you want to say talk music. What do you play? Like, what do you do? It's like stuff like, I don't even ask the important questions. Like, what kind of stuff do you do? It'll be awesome. Yeah. Sorry, Calvin. I have my email now. Open. I got email from Sharon. So fantastic. Nice. And I'm actually going to add Sharon now while I'm here. And let me play my normal music that we play here on the channel, which I didn't write. But yeah, I'm a big fan of music. I love, I always love music. Always kind of wanted to be more like do more music, but it's just so hard because, you like priorities. Dude, I don't know how to use Ableton. I'm still learning, bro. I'm still learning. We should chat. I should get some tips. Yeah, music and coding definitely go hand in hand 100%. Yes. So yeah, no, maybe we like hang out hang out and like do like a once a month like party where we could all just drink your favorite beverage, coffee or something, and I could try to play some music. Yeah, I will ping you after this. I will ping you. I guess I will have to log into my Discord. Yeah, but I'll ping you after this, Mark. And yeah, and it'll be like just share and chill, and like I could try to play music on my Ableton thing. And if you hear like a lot of the music that I play on my channel, I didn't write this, but it's all got that like 80s like movies vibe. I think it's kind of cool. So let me add Sharon to the community here, and then I'll also see invite. We'll do Sharon. And then blah, blah, that looks good. So Sharon, you're invited. You should get a circle community invite, and then I'll check email from Kelvin here. Yeah, so I didn't... Trying to search Kelvin in my email. It's not. No. Yeah, Kelvin. So yeah, send me another one whenever you get a chance. I might have like deleted by accident because I do like massive deletes sometimes without even paying attention. I'm like the worst person when it comes to email. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like definitely. Girls hang out in the circle community. It'll be awesome. Like we'll be like chilling, having fun. Yeah. So anyway, we had an amazing stream. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for all of you joining. I really appreciate all of you, because the truth is, without you, I would not be here. Like the one thing I keep saying, you are the bricks in this community. You build the foundation for it to exist. And I said, because I literally, this is not my community. This is you. Without you, I would not be here. And thank you so much for being so awesome. And I'm just glad to have you allow me to be in your life on Saturday mornings. Always fun. It's just super awesome. And then Kevin Doyle will have to definitely talk music. I play guitar, but I love electronic music too. 90s. Oh my God, Kevin. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna figure this out. You're gonna have to send me some like stuff you play, and then I'll maybe try to create some stuff to send to you. 1980s electronic stuff. I could live in that era forever. That like the greatest music era. So we'll definitely have to get in touch, and we'll definitely need to have a stream because you have like a lot of cool stuff that you've done, and I also. You might not be like in coding like per se, but you did switch careers like in your life. And I think it's kind of cool to kind of hear people, those stories of that's, it's actually very common for people to switch careers, something to completely different from what they've done before. But man, so much good time. Thank you everybody for being here. Engine Boy, thank you. Calvin, Tammy, Sharon, Mark, of course, Kevin, Calvin, Big B420, great having you here. I was going coding up 30. Thank you. That's me. I'm like clicking. Luke, awesome to have you here, man. So many people. I mean, I'm gonna have to scroll up too much to say hello to everybody. Kit Kat, awesome to have you here. Tone, like so many people. Like I just, man, amazing. So with that being said, everybody and Kevin says, have a great afternoon. Everybody have a great afternoon, great evening, great morning, wherever you are. Thank you so much for being here, and appreciate you so much. And I will see everyone later in the next live stream. So have a good one. Love you all. Bye.